Marco Rubio is the US Secretary of State. In another country, he would be the foreign minister, right? And so he testified before the Senate, and he admitted that if Iran decides to respond to US attack, that those soldiers are definitely going to be hit. Listen to what he said.
We have 30 to 40,000 American troops stationed across 8 or 9 facilities in that region. All are within the reach. Theoretically, not theoretically, in reality, all are within the reach of an array of thousands of Iranian one-way UAVs and Iranian short-term ballistic missiles, short-range ballistic missiles that threaten our troop presence. We have to have enough force and power in the region, just on a baseline, to defend against that possibility. That at some point, as a result of something, the Iranian regime decides to strike at our troop presence in the region.
Basically, this is what I have been talking about, right? A report came out saying that the US is removing its troops from military bases in Iraq, Qatar, and even Saudi Arabia because they fear a response from Iran, right? But then Donald Trump is bragging about bringing the Armada, this big airplane carrier, on the sea next to the Iran coast. And how can you remove troops from your military base, but at the same time bring this floating military base close to Iran, right? It doesn't make any sense. Now they are admitting clearly that they are in harm's way, and that if Iran were to decide to respond, that it would be a catastrophe, right? That those military will be hit, right? So what is going on here? Now, the very fact that I talk about it is not because I'm too smart. They know this as well. And that's why I told you that the major thing they're doing is to try to scare Iran. But the thing is that everybody knows that. Even Iran knows that, right? When you go to war, you don't bring your army next to the coast of another if you don't want your troops to be hit. People used to do war like that a long time ago where they would stand next to each other and they had spears and stuff like that and they'll start wars. But nowadays, wars is an element of surprise. The way they did in June, where it's like, they're trying to bring Iran to negotiate while Israel was hitting, right? That's how you want to do wars. This is the same thing they did with Venezuela. They came in there, sat there for a month, and then when the time came, everybody was sleeping, they went in here and then shot this major movie and claimed that, they just went there as commandos and all of that, right? And so coming to Iran, right, you're bringing all these weapons, the Abraham Lincoln, whatever you call it, right? And you have all these soldiers, thousands of soldiers in this floating airbase next to the coast of Iran, knowing very well what Israel experienced in June, and then claiming that you're ready to go to war. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody does war like that, right? I said it very clearly with Venezuela, and exactly that's what happened. They never bombed Venezuela from those air carriers, right? We saw what happened in Venezuela. Quick in, quick out with the help of traders, and they spend a whole lot of money try to invade the country, right? And so what is going on with the administration of Donald Trump is that behind closed door, they're trying to get Iran to accept some type of Hollywood propaganda movie. They know very well that Iran is going to hit hard. The propaganda is trying to make it seem as though, this is nothing, the US is going to bomb and all of that. That is how the propaganda works, right? Their media, they work like that, right? We don't have amnesia. We know what Israel went through in June, right? Iran beat them very well. We know that. So you cannot come back and try to tell us, the US, Iran weapons were completely destroyed during the war and all that. No, it was not. No, it was not, right? If it was, I've already said that, the US would have gone in. If they won the war in June, why are they going to another war? Everything they wanted to accomplish, they didn't accomplish it. They did not destroy any of the nuclear facilities of Iran. They did not do any regime change the way that Netanyahu was telling us that he was going to do. They didn't stop anything in Iran. They got a beating from Iran. And today they're thinking twice before going. And you have Arab countries saying, we're no longer part of this. We were probably part of it the last time, but that's it. We don't want to be part of this because everybody knows what Iran is going to do. So what is going on now is that they are begging Iran on the side, right? And saying, look, let's just shoot a movie, let everybody get happy. You shoot a little bit, we shoot a little bit, and then we get out of your way. And Iran is saying, no, that's not going to happen. You're not going to do that this time, right? If you try, we are going full war. And it looks like they're realizing that Iran is not going to play this movie. They're starting slowly to change their rhetorics. Now they are admitting that, look, our troops, when they are right there in the coast of Iran, Iran can hit them. And by Marco Rubio saying this, he's contradicting the propaganda that Donald Trump is trying to send out. When he's out, threatening Iran, saying, oh, look, if you don't come and negotiate, we will bomb. If you don't come and negotiate, we will bomb. Look, Marco Rubio is bringing a new rhetoric, which is approved by them, all, the White House, you name them, they've approved it just so that they can start de-escalate the situation. Because this is a suicide mission. You cannot go to war with someone who's ready for you, who's locked, loaded, and ready. No element of surprise, right? People, oh, well, the U.S. is about to bomb. No, the U.S. is not about to bomb anyone, right? It will be the most unintelligent thing anybody has ever done in life. And Donald Trump will be looked at someone who has nothing in his brain if he tries to do that. Now, Netanyahu is there quietly, waiting. He wants the United States to go in. He doesn't care. This is someone whose life is almost ended. He doesn't care if the world's end, but the intelligence community, the CIA is telling Donald Trump, look, Iran is not going to cooperate. They will not do it this time. If you try to shoot anything, it's going to be a full-on war. That's why you're starting to hear this rhetoric is coming out, where Marco Rubio is starting to talk. In the next few days that are coming, you are going to start hearing more of this. And that is how they will find their way out of this conflict.